Don't worry, Timekeeper. I'll defend myself. Back in the Foundation, I once won a public debate of a similar nature. This is my duty. I won't let it get in the way of the team's investigation.
Sonetto.
By our tradition, Miss Sonetto will be given the poisoned wine, so she will be muted and stay that way forever. However, Sophia raised her objection against the decision. After giving the matter some discreet thought, I have decided those of you who agree to the death sentence may remain seated. Those of you who wish to commute Miss Sonetto's punishment now, Miss Sonetto, Miss Vertin, you may until the sand in this hourglass falls to the...
I am Sonetto from St. Pavla Foundation. I wish all the honorable audiences here would lend me their ears to hear my defense as a humanitarian gesture.
What number are you? Defendant, the court requires an answer. What is your number?
What? No, I don't have a number.
Don't waste our time. People without a number cannot stand in the Hall of Truth. All her words are void. Sentence her to death now!
42's argument is valid. Defenders, what do you wish to contend?
What? It's valid?
Objection! According to the record, the last time we inflicted severe punishment was in 1980 to a visitor who ate beans. He ate a carbuncle that feeds on beans. Then he was sentenced to death according to the said theory. In our scripture, eating beans is the most evil sin, which undoubtedly fits the most severe punishment. But if we are now executing people for breaking the silence at the assembly, how would it reflect our attitude towards the consumption of beans? I suggest Sonetto's punishment to be commuted.
A good argument.
37's argument is deemed valid. The debate will continue.
Objection. The punishment for eating beans is to throw the offenders into the Gorgon current, while the punishment for the silence breaker is to drink. Among all the punishments we have, there's no other punishment more dreadful than being thrown, because eternity and infinity are the two things we have the least knowledge of. Giving her the poisoned wine doesn't make the consumption of beans less sinful. Her argument is invalid.
Objection! Both of the crimes would fall into the same category if we are taking the punishment as a frame of reference, which is death.
Objection. The two crimes in question are not commensurable, which makes your comparison invalid.
What's this? I'm completely lost in this irrational debate.
I see. So that's how it works.
Timekeeper?
Relax. I will help you.
I object.
Did the show begin? Excellent. Get ready to step
I'd like
onto
to
the
start by
stage.
quoting 42's first argument. People without a number. In that case...
What?
Good point, Vertin.
Let them... Illusion is enough for them. Malapert!
These are merely clumsy sophists. We've all seen her break the maxim.
Objection!
Objection.
Since Senato that she didn't break any rules.
Thy ending is destined!
Objection! The rule breaker has a number. We can all tell that she is very likely an integer.
Tell you a secret, 13? We would call
I got it!
Illusion is enough for them.
It is easy to prove Sonetto's innocence. According to... Since we consider a criminal as a negative number, and a non-criminal as a positive number, that means she doesn't belong to the criminal set, or the non-criminal set. She did not commit a sin, and did not commit no sin. It's a paradox. I hereby demand to modify the criminal sentence that has been given to Sonetto.
They are much naughtier than the Foundation's kids.
The law of excluded middle. A good sophism. Good for you to create a paradox from one sentence of mine. But pitifully, you've made a fatal mistake. You've taken my argument as the basis of your defense. I said people without a number should be expelled from the hall. You don't have a number either, Miss Outsider. Based on my argument, which has also been approved by you, I argue that all your arguments are invalid.
There's no time left.
13 has a number. I saw it.
What? 37, do you know what you're saying?
Yeah. I read her number just now. 13's number is 0.
Come closer. That pad of paper from the miss? Yes, the one wielding the ruler is quite valuable. One visitor to the island took out a baguette from his luggage. To share it with others, he made an attempt to... You can learn the punishments for them from the paper. Only God knows how this wine-dark sea holds... Oh, the debate! That's really a pain in the neck for that logical, pragmatic assistant of yours, isn't it? But it won't change the fact that the debate is only a game involved. Anyways, whoever fools the others first will win the game. No arcanum at all. And that argument of hers is the best attraction for the audience. You are neither positive nor negative, which means you don't belong to either side. Now, in a restaurant, fruits are served without the seeds. But in a farm, the seeds are retained for the next harvest. Is there any value in the seeds? The moment you realize that, you have... Now, back to the number we just talked about. You owe that spirited little genius a thank you. I always know you're a quick learner. Yep, that's right. 37 is only 37. A nice, unique prize. Why not deify the one that is able to reach? I guess you also did that, right, darling? It's okay. She never says... What a good.
Time to check my calculation. The form is a bubble. Time to check my calculation. The form is a bubble. Welcome to the world of numbers. Uh-huh. Are you a rational number? Uh-huh. Intersect and divide. Welcome to the world of numbers.
"37. You just said Vertin's number is 0. Do you know?
Very clearly.
Would you be able to submit proof to a payron?
No problem.
Half of you in this hall have put in the pebbles. If 37's argument is found to be true, every argument Vertin... I will announce the result once 37's proof has been validated by a payron. Thank you for your time.
Sonetto!
Timekeeper, I'm so sorry. I tried my best, but still I failed again.
What happened to her? Come here, little girl. We need to move her outside. Lie her down on the ground and wipe her palm and feet with dew and peppermint oil. That would be okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The distinguished number 0. I'm kidding. I'm 210. Well, instead of the number, I prefer people call me...
I've heard your preachment. Pretty demagogic.
That's how logic works. With logic, I can prove that you'd cease to exist in the next moment, or that there are no other people in this world except me. Achilles can never outrun a tortoise, and a flying arrow is forever motionless. This debate is nothing but meaningless wordplay. That pacifist let you off this time. 6. A perfect number indeed. For he knows the benefit who wants to have blood on their hands and be devoured by the cycle of hatred. Yet it's a torture for any intelligent mind to hear such an immature debate. Can you feel the suffering of our leader now?
I'm sorry.
No apology needed, Miss Outsider. I also feel sorry, given that 37 has revealed your number.
What do you mean?
37. Our evil little genius. Our numbers are our essence. And it's also the most important proof we get once in our lifetime. But she enjoys taking that opportunity away from you. Just because she did that to her friend, too. She found out Sophia's number, but without casting an eye on that paper with her number on it, Sophia threw it into the sea. Sophia is Sophos. But you...
It doesn't seem like trouble to me.
Alas, poor little Vertin. You still don't understand. The number of our souls suggests our fate. It might be changed through algorithms temporarily, swirling, shift, but in the end, we can only be ourselves. 1 is thought. 2 is opinion. 3 is wisdom. 4 is strength. 0, however, is in the middle of the axis, the origin of the frame of reference. It's neither positive, things are ever changing, but your loneliness also lasts forever. This is your fate. Being exposed in full view of the crowd, yet you know nothing about it. 37 was acting on impulse. Yet she opened Pandora's box. She leisurely reveals your fate. That carefree behavior makes no difference to picking up a shell. On how could I not pity you?
Miss Vertin. 37's proof has passed the review. Your friend will now be exempt from... Please, meet me at the hall tomorrow at noon. I would have words with you. Before this negotiation begins, I wish to tell an allegory to the two of you. A group of people were imprisoned in a cave. Behind them, there was a fire. Before them was a tall, solid wall. Their legs and necks were chained and fixed, so they were constrained to look nowhere but to gaze at the wall in front of them. When they dropped their eyes, they saw their own body. When they looked up, the flickering light of the fire fell over them, and they only saw the shadows of what was passing behind them. No one had lived one day outside the cave. The shadows cast on the wall all there was to be perceived as reality. They had no knowledge of the real world. One day, one of them escaped from the cave, walked into the light, and saw the true world with his own eyes for the first time. Everything he saw or felt in the cave was nothing more than a mere shadow of the object's true form. Our world is a poor one, Miss Verton. The phenomenal world is the cave in this allegory, where we are surrounded by shadows or some humble fractions of the truth. It is ugly, frivolous, filthy, perishable, subject to decay, and filled with only the wise can walk out of that cave and see the world as it in that eternal, transcendent world. Everything is in its mode. I pray that you, Miss Verton, the representative of St. Pavlov Foundation, and you, everything you've been fighting each other for means no more than there's only one thing worth doing. That is, to seek higher wisdom, develop one's virtue. We have never set foot on the soil dampened by the storm, nor have we ever been involved in the disputes. I beg you, do not take your conflict in the phenomenal world into the realm of truth.
For certain. It was never my intention to sully the sanctuary of truth.
Then, to prevent a situation like this from happening again, I would like to ask you two to carve your names on these 2 stone bangles and drip a drop. Once the bracelet is put on, no one will be able to remove it. From now on, as long as you're on this island, none of your people will draw blood from one another, or the bangle shall draw all the blood from you. The peace agreement is so decided.
I appreciate that. I'll sign it. The peace agreement.
Lady Verton, we meet again. I wish the best to thy friend.
She's doing well, thanks to you.
Thou shalt quench, for times hath changed. I would not wish to shed even a drop of Arcanist's blood in...
But Schneider should be the victim of a merciless bullet?
Verton, my pitiful child. Did you forget? That merciless bullet cameth from a gun never belonging to me.
What's Manus Vindicte's purpose to be here?
Hearken the archaic wisdom. Just as thou doest. I am not... I adore thy visage, Lady Verton. Alas. No man shall bravest the storm, and including thee.
A wooden box in the Elitiaus base has my name on it. Was that your doing?
Sadly, it wasn't. I hope thee findeth the answer satisfactory.
It's burning.
Is that Miss Arcana? Miss Arcana! Please, don't go! Save us!
And save Aunt.
No! Come back! Come back! You ignorant foreigners! I just started introducing vectors and matrices! Vertin! Great! You always show up at the right time and right place! Stop the math people! Whatever it takes!
Nothing unexpected. For now.
Relax.
Plan A.
An eye for an eye.
Thank you for your cooperation.
3, 2, 1. Down.
Pay for thy sins with thy blood. Resistance is futile.
No
And
worries.
plan A. A mice pad. Plan B. Plan A.
A tooth for a tooth.
An unconventional choice. The show's on, Talents.
No worries.
Time waits for no one, even for a great one.
Breathe. Thank you for your cooperation. We need some peaceful
Plan
moments.
B.
An eye for an eye.
An unconventional choice.
Pay for thy sins with thy blood.
Stop.
Resistance is futile. Off thou
Plan A.
Thou shalt make an atonement for thy sins in full.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Plan B.
An eye for an
No
eye.
worries.
Whew, that went smooth.
Exactly.
Look at you, climbing out of the cave in the allegory. They must have tried to fill your little brain with Oh, how modest you are. Looks like you didn't spend all your... Try to reach the corners of your mind, if you would. And there you will find... Yes, those people in gowns. White gowns with gray diamond patterns. Teacher, instructor, tutor, the educator... Just titles like that. No need. But they have nothing to complain about. They showed you a broad avenue in their teachings where you could enjoy a sense of security with all the... There is a distinction between good and bad here, and it's as clear as our innate sense. But in fact, there exists another path in the woods. It's much less traveled, leading to the unknown darkness which cannot be seen with eyes or proved false. You may even experience indescribable chaos and madness there. So, which will you take? Oh, that's not an easy choice to make. This grandma must give you a round of applause. I would have even pinned a boutonniere to your suit if I had one. But I have to remind you, those things in there are not easy to deal with. They can drive you... You've seen the living proof. Many were freaked out after they came back, and people had to tie and lock them up. Others... Oh, my. That was... Here's some good news to cheer you up. Actually, there's still one more way you... I'm sure you know that myth. You shall take the soul of your love out of the underworld, yet you shall not look... The ones with the belief set off. They entered the dark woods... They kept their mouths shut and eyes forward. They showed frugality, patience, and wisdom in the face of hunger, so the beasts continued to lurk in the shadow. Think about what I just said. That which is real, never look back in the woods, darling. If you don't want to be turned into a pillar of salt which can do nothing but wail, then never, ever look back. Yes, we'd better stay awake, stay calm. But then there comes the problem. How can you ignore your love for those thriving plants and blooming flowers? Of course, you will cry the loudest cry, dance the wildest dance, drink the strongest drink, and after all, there is no need to enter the woods if the soul-stirring scenery is not what you are after. No, so you'd better let it slip your mind, darling. Just let it go and hurry forward. Remember to keep your eyes shut. When you do so, the scenery will no longer mean anything to you, nor will the fragrance of the flowers. Is that what you want? Don't worry. We have...
Congratulations, Miss Sonetto. You are the fastest learner of our doctrine among all. On behalf of all orators, I award you this laurel wreath.
No, I wouldn't have achieved this without your guidance. Those mathematics statements are really inspiring. I've learned a lot, but there's still something confusing me, such as Pythagoras and his golden thigh, his memory...
Why would people fail to see the charm of the matrices? This is not right. I need...
Anyone, save us! Thus my journey of art is doomed to fail. I really don't want to study maths anymore. Help.
Timekeeper, you are here.
I heard that you completed all the lessons on the scripture. This laurel wreath suits you well.
Timekeeper, I'm sorry. At the assembly, I failed to understand the arcanist's logic. It was totally different to the debate, but now I have...
That was not your fault, Sonetto. It is now behind us. I need to tell you something more important. I've signed a peace agreement with Arcana, and the price of breaking it is...
What? So Manus Vindictae is also restrained by the stone bangle like we are.
Yes. She put it on without hesitation. But I don't think her purpose would be as simple as hearkening the ancient wisdom. I attacked Manus' followers earlier as 37 asked me to. Perhaps this island makes its own judgment on what to be classified as hostility. Sonetto, do not report this to the headquarters before we figure out how the bangle works. After all, there are many other things to investigate on this island, other than Manus Vindicte.
I see. I will contact Miss Druvis and Miss Moisson first and keep an eye on Arcana. Timekeeper, this island, the Manus' mask, and your suitcase are all immune to the storm. Does this mean we could collect more asymmetrical nuclide R samples?
I tried to collect some samples last night in the outer region of the island. But the detecting device showed nothing. If we were to find out more, we have to go to the center.
What are you conspiring now? Do not poke the fire with swords, and do not jump over a crossbar. The assembly will not be held every time when there's a crime. Please take heed of my warning, and do not overstep the line. Learn a lesson from them.
Lilia! Didn't you say you have Regulus with you?
Apologies, Vertin. I was going to rescue Sonetto through a very creative underground tunnel. But things didn't quite go as planned.
Not a bad innovation for a simple clap on the forehead. If only you didn't miscalculate.
This apple is grateful that it didn't get blasted into...
Warning. Shell cleaning required. Warning.
I don't know why, but when I was in that cave, ideas kept flooding into my head. Though, judging by the outcome, they weren't all good ideas.
On a routine, I'm not surprised that an irrational number... This is a serious crime.
Do we have to go through this debate again?
It's okay, Timekeeper. I will defend. I've thoroughly studied the scripture, and this time I'm sure I can do better.
Forget it.
Forget it.
It is unwise to waste time trying to understand an irrational number's motive. Besides, we should let the reckless take care of the least important matter. That's it. Regulus, you will come with me to clean the beach.
Huh? Me? Again?
Since you have too many floating points, we would have suggested you study with the rest of the students here. Abstain from...
What? I won't do any of that.
But taking your peculiar character, I decided that some compulsory labor would be the better option.
Oh, that's the best news of the day. I'd rather clean up the rubbish on the... I'd be dead if you didn't change your mind.
Regulus, studying the scripture is not that scary. They will teach you and guide you until you take full command. Just like taking lessons at school.
Huh? Is that what schools...
Haven't you been to a school, Regulus?
Haha! A great pirate would... So, where were we? Which part of the beach needs to be taken care of by the great captain?
My laboratory.
Whoa! Where did you pop up from?
"37. Aren't you supposed to preach to the...
I've seen their numbers. A group of negative repeating infinite decimals. They will achieve nothing but to repeat...
Fine. Those of you who are complicit in breaking into the cave will... Sonetto and Lilia will come with me to patrol. Regulus, as for Vertin, you will assist 37 with her study of the... Don't waste more time on the trivial matters of that was the sole reason you were on this island, was it not?
Don't let down your guard. The arcanists on this island are down in the cave. I heard some pretty alluring and intriguing anecdotes.
Miss Lilia, this way. You will cover...
Stay on the radio.
Don't worry, Timekeeper. Lilia and I will keep an eye on Mana's...
We are counting on you, Sonetto. I have a feeling we are coming closer to a big secret.
This trial is mine to judge.
No worries.
Plan A, Plan B. 3, 2, 1, down. Plan A, Plan B.
Feel its pain and know its regret.
Unconventional choice. Plan A, Plan B. Relax. Unconventional choice. Breathe. The show's on. Plan A.
Time waits for no one, even for a great